How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, and I got a lot of Drakir shit that I should be working on this month, so I gotta start doing these reviews pretty back to back. Otherwise, I would probably wait like a day or so before I put this up. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna do a review on the new Lividity. It's called Perverseverance, and I believe it's coming out the end of this month, around the end of November here. So let's get into it. If you do not know who Lividity is, they are a brutal death metal slash grindcore band from Illinois, USA, and the members are Vaughn Young on vocals and guitar. Pardon me. Dave Kibler on guitar and vocals, Garrett Scanlon on drums, and Jake Lanier on bass and vocals. So, you got a lot of them contributing vocals, thus having different vocal styles. And what can you expect from the vocals in this new release? Well, you can expect some deep, rattling, airy kind of growls, mostly indecipherable. You can expect some pig squeals and some higher, raspy, shrieked style of vocaling. There's also some mixed styles of each version in there as well. Like each different vocal styling has a slight variation throughout the album. So there's a lot to take in there vocal wise. It's performed really well, performed very consistent though. There doesn't seem to be a lot of struggling in there. There doesn't seem to be a lot of drop-offs or like vocal breaking down. So they're all the vocals that are in this are performed really well and nicely. The volume is roughly the same as the guitar, so they're mixed about the same levels. Sometimes a little bit lower, but most of the time on the same level as the guitar. Speaking of the guitar, they're very fast, very technical for the most part. There's tremolo riffs, like lots of tremolo riffs. There's the odd kind of sludgy, chugging kind of style riffs. There's very rare, like one or two slams throughout this album as well. It doesn't appear very often, but when they do appear, they're done nicely, and it adds a nice sprinkling of something else in there. The tone is very dark and menacing, quite full. There's a very wall of guitars type sound to it. Very evil atmosphere they created with the guitars. The groovy death metal riffs are also kind of sparse but sprinkled throughout as well. So I really enjoyed the guitaring for the most part. The bass, it's really low in the mix, but at the same time, I did notice it quite a bit in the song Meat for the Beast. So when I did pick up on it and kind of figure out what the sound of the bass was, I was able to listen and figure out what was mostly going on. The tone was crushing, heavy, from the small snippets that I got, but it definitely added to the wall of sound, the wall of guitar sound, feel that the album was portraying. It filled the spaces during the rare melodic parts, i.e. the song Something's Dead. So yeah, I feel that the bass guitaring and playing was done really well. Perhaps could have been louder. Now for the drums had lots of double kicks in it. Pretty solid stuff too. Plenty of blast beats. Nice snappy snare sound, which is great because a lot of brutal death metal and slam have this just pang 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 thing that you know if you've watched my channel for any length of time that I'm not a big fan of. Sometimes it gets too much and overwhelming, but this had a fairly decent snare sound. There is an excellent use of fills throughout this album, very quick. The floor tom accents that Garrett added really just pushed that heaviness for the chugging parts and different areas. The drumming is very precise, machine-like at times due to the quickness. There is a wide array of beat varieties considering the style of riffs and genre of music. I noticed that he didn't just always go to the really fast double kicks and blast beats for everything. There is almost a punky like drum beat for one part or two. So yeah, kudos to Garrett for being able to, break the mold of just really fast, intense stuff and being able to just feel out his kit throughout the riffs. I really enjoyed that. All right, let's get on to my favorite tracks. Now, my favorite tracks on this album would be Meat for the Beast, that being where I could detect the bass part and where I first kind of picked it up, the sound of it. Really, really enjoyed it. Next one would be number 9. I don't know if I said it, but Meat for the Beast is track 3. But yeah, I also enjoyed track number 9, which is Something's Dead. And that was where I kind of noticed that they also incorporated slams. They're not your average, typical, syncopated, one note off from each other slams. It had a very interesting death metal feel to the slams. It wasn't kind of like a breakdowny type of slam. You'll see what I mean if you check the song out. So yeah, number 9, Something's Dead. I also enjoyed number 5 really well, which was Horror Destroyer. The name kind of amuses me too. And number 11, Pussy Lover Salivation. That was an excellent song. Really crushing riffs. Really, really enjoyed that one. The fucking what do you call them? Audio clips and samples throughout this is very amusing. Definitely added something to the overall sound of the album. Definitely gave it their own kind of signature flavor. I think you'll enjoy those. So my overall thoughts on this album is that it's an insanely intense barrage of brutal death metal. Non-stop punishing onslaught of riffs and concussive beats. Lividity is here to kick ass and take some names. Absolutely devastating track after track. And if you're looking to catch a breath, well, you're probably not going to get it here. These guys are the equivalent to 10 men with bats and lead pipes, giving you a beating until you're a bloody pulp. I'd definitely listen to these guys over Cannibal Corpse any day, so definitely make sure you check them out. I'd give this album an 8.5 out of 10, and the only weaknesses or improvements that I could see on this thing being maybe some more audible bass in the mix, because the guy's talented. I want to hear what he's doing. Secondly, maybe some more groovy hooks, maybe some more slams, maybe focus a little less on tremolos, and maybe do some more doomy death metal riffs. But I don't know, other than that, it was really, really good, really enjoyable, really fucking brutal and heavy. So if you're into the brutal shit, Lividity is where it's at. No complaints here, really. So yeah, I'm Jesse Morgan, and I would buy this album. So cheers. For glory, for the rebellion, Slammerella out.